walking together, joined by journey. We see our roads divide, split wide by a decision, to be made with precision, a choice we've been given to influences how we're living. For the purposes of this verse, first we'll take on the path of curse. More than four-letter words, because language is only the surface, and it should make us nervous when we think we speak love and trust, simply because we haven't cussed. But curse goes deeper, into the very soul of who we're being, why we're being, what we're seeing, and through whose eyes. All the lies we've been sold, and realized how bold it is to live like we're kings and queens, like we're the definition of what it means to be successful, that we can grab a handful of everything we want and not worry about what happens after, because that's a matter for whoever has to clean up when the party's over. Hashtag not it. And so we acquit ourselves from guilt and seek pleasure, finding our treasure in meaningless toys and loud noise, and traveling great distances to take pictures. Hashtag been here before? And it becomes harder and harder to ignore that the choices we're making are not actually making things better, but like a sweater with a loose thread that we're unraveling. All the traveling for fun really unearths a world that's coming undone. A choice once again before us, as a connected world resounds with a chorus. A broken picture that needs to be healed, needs Christ revealed. And so we come to the road less traveled. As our world is unraveled, we sit down to a feast, plates stacked high with opportunities simply because of our seat at the table. There'd be more for others if we were able to understand the road of blessing is less about receiving words after sneezing and less about breezing through life accepting the praise of others, about claiming brothers when things are going great, but when there's suffering, let's just say another prayer. And God's heard our prayers, but gets frustrated with empty words and full pockets like rockets that fly too high into the air and simply burst. We've confused blessing with curse. We've been too satisfied with loud images and colorful sounds not to notice that all around we're surrounded by dead and dying people crying out for someone to affirm they exist. The ones we've missed are not going to show up on the front page or take the center stage. You won't see them at your door because the poor, they're outside our gates. They've been dealt their plate and their fate, and it's a different plate than what we've been served. Or maybe we've just forgotten. Because underneath all that's become rotten, we find a foundational truth we left somewhere in our youth. We were all born uncouth. Naked and screaming, we all came into this world grabbing for anything we could label mine. And somewhere in time and space, God spoke powerfully in His grace to offer blessing. Again, not the kind that follows a sneeze, but the kind that should bring us to our knees. The kind offered from parents to sons and daughters. The kind of words that allow human beings to walk on water. The kind of affirmation we're so hungry for. We spend all our energy trying to fill, and it's a blessing that comes to us still. It's not found in places this world tells you to look. While they bait the hook with smooth promises of tomorrow, God reminds us not to borrow what's not ours. All good things come from the Lord. And it's His word, capital W, that contains the blessing. While we're messing around with blank pages, His world's been filled for ages and comes as word made flesh, arrived in ways that blow our mind and stretch our imagination to bursting, providing quenching for our thirsting. Words of promise and love, identity and peace, hope that's solid enough to carry us through the disease of sin. No matter what situation you're in, this blessing is true for you. Hashtag, let me get real for a moment. You see, my wife and I just gave our 7-year-old her first big girl Bible, Genesis to Revelation, no pictures, the full weight of the Word of God held in her tiny hands, and it's what love demands. Because no matter how many words of love and hope we can give her, ours are only echoes of something real, something more than what she can feel. Words that God has written for her life and the lives of her grandchildren, hope for the unknown, foundation stronger than stone, love beyond emotion, an entire ocean churning with floods of redemption. I should probably mention, this is the road of blessing. It's the only blessing we can give that enables her to live. And as words turn to flesh in her life and yours, we realize the main difference between blessing and curse. It's life or death. So together, let's choose to be those who bless.